Good morning. My name is Forrest Bailey, and I am Tristyn's father, and I will be speaking on behalf of my family. To start with, I would first like to thank God for the strength He has given us since Tristyn was taken from us, the grace He has instilled within us to support each other as we grieve, and especially for the incredible love that we have seen from so many in the world. I would like to thank the Honorable Judge Smith for his consideration in deciding upon the life sentence verdict. While it can seem so easy to many people for this to be the verdict, it must be an extremely difficult determination for the judge to arrive at, given all the aspects he needs to consider. We are very appreciative of this outcome and feel that it is the right verdict, considering how heinous the crime is and Aiden's behaviors around it. In one of our initial meetings with R.J. Larissa from the State Attorney Office, we gave our word that we would wait until the criminal proceedings were complete so that we did not distract from justice being served. It is important that the case is tried in the court of law. In agreement with them, we do have a few brief words to say today. However, we will not be very expansive as there is still an open case with Crystal Smith. During her celebration of life, we shared that to continue Tristyn's fight. We are going to fight for justice. Truth be told, this fight was done by so many, and the outcome today is a result of their efforts. Before we get into some of those thanks, as a parent, foremost, I would like to caution both parents and children on the dangers of social media and technology. As has come out through the proceedings, Aiden Fucci did not even have Tristyn's contact information until the evening before he killed her. While we have gone to a point where children are carrying technology for convenience and safety to contact their parents and their friends when needed, it comes at a great risk. It likely would not have made a difference in Tristyn's case, as it was referred from a trusted friend, and she also knew Aiden from school. However, we would be sick to have it happen to any other family by not raising our concerns and our cautions. Please, to all the kids, if your parents require you to turn in your cell phones, realize your phone is a privilege, not a right, and that they are demonstrating love and protection for you. Parents, I encourage you to do so. As part of this investigation, the amount of kids sneaking out in our community and the frequency of how often they are doing so had us completely dumbfounded. On a different note, during Wednesday's proceedings and the filings at the end of the day, there were several apologies given from Aiden and some members of Aiden's family. Foremost, to his grandmother, your apology on the stand really touched us. It was the first time anyone in your family had acknowledged it, and we feel for you as we could tell how much you are hurting. With respect to the apology letter from Aiden, from his behavior at court, at no point has his actions fell in line with the letter, and I believe it is due to the coaching from the defense. With respect to the legal process that takes time, and to the comment from the defense about us not accepting the apology, I find that hard to stomach. The defense was insensitive to my family when they called out in writing our participations in these proceedings, which are our right to do so. They mentioned it in filings. They even went further by sending out a survey to my wife asking her opinion on Aiden murdering Tristyn. At no point did they have the common decency to give an apology, so I think they should reconsider their high ground before they advise anyone else on apologies. With regard to Crystal Smith and her apology, as I mentioned before, there's an open case with her, so it's difficult to comment. The fact that we are continuing to have to go through the legal process makes the apology questionable. You've seen the videos from the home. You've seen the videos from the interrogation room. I would say if she's sorry, she can start by accepting responsibility. To Aiden's family, I would remind them that he is still here. They can still see him. They can encourage him to change his behavior of bragging about his brutality and threatening the corrections officers and their families that keep him from harm and setting out on a better road. To those around his extended family, please extend them kindness. They should be given grace for the pain they are going through. They should not be given additional hardship. Tristyn had a good friend amongst his extended family, and treating them poorly based on Aiden's crime does not honor her memory or her spirit. At this point, I would like to transition and thank a number of parties which are typically either overlooked or not thanked. As a start, I would like to first thank our local Jacksonville-based media. Over time, we realized that the facts around this case made it one that was of great public interest. It happened in the well-recognized family county of St. John's. It was a vicious murder by a 14-year-old of a 13-year-old, and it happened on Mother's Day. An absolute lightning rod. Along the way, you have requested our respect for privacy, as well as our intent to wait until these proceedings are complete before sharing our thoughts. I think what is very important, as we saw respectful communication in the coverage and how things are dealt. For example, as a victim's family, I hate seeing the picture of my beautiful daughter next to the person responsible for her murder. I think that's true for most victims' families. When we express this and our outrage and the hurt it caused, we saw a change over time, both in the broadcast as well as the articles, and we appreciate those efforts. While likely also driven through the incredible compassion and love demonstrated from the St. John's community, we also saw focus of the victim and highlights of Tristyn's life and what she did. This is important. It shouldn't just be about the details of their death. I would suggest there needs to be more focus put on the victims of other crimes and not just these lightning cases. For example, there was a recent murder in Putnam County of Ayanna Belton, which was similar in brutality, and yet not enough highlighted on that family and her loss. Also like to say a very quick word with respect to some of the most social media stories, the podcasts, the channels. More and more people are turning to these channels to get information. It is my hope, honestly, for people to do better and to be more sensitive. For anyone that tunes to these channels, please realize that there are subscribers and web clicks, and you may approximate that to ratings for established news media. Yet this is not reflective of the integrity of the information that you are consuming. Over the course of the past almost 2 years, we had several people send us links from programs. Many of them were downright nauseating. They were inaccurate. They were over-dramatization. Truly, it's hurtful to the victims' families. They're profiting from this. However, there were some that were very truthful, some that had done some research, and there were some that were out there that were trying to do a good job. How you tell the difference between them is not clear. So again, I would caution people as to where they get their information. My intent here, though, is not to criticize, but encourage people to do better. I would even give a recent example, as there was a Twitter account that posted information that was very unnecessary and hurtful. When a good family friend reached out to them to explain this, they connected that this was a real person with people still grieving for her loss. They then took it down. They stated an apology from what they learned from it. I have no idea who sits behind the keyboard of @docket, and it's unlikely that I never meet the individual. Yet the way he handled the mistake speaks well to his integrity, and it gives me hope that this will improve in time. Sticking with the theme of appreciating people that do not get enough, I have to thank the 7th Circuit State Attorney's Office. Many of us understand the importance of having great leadership at the top, and I absolutely have to say this is the case with respect to R.J. Larissa. From the initial conversation we had with him around the grand jury, until meeting with him recently, preparing to go to trial, we know he has been focused on getting justice and doing so in a compassionate way. I am deeply grateful for the work he's continuing to do. RJ, thank you. To the state attorney prosecution team of Jennifer Dudden and Mark Johnson, while we understand that you work for the state of Florida, we could not have wished for 2 better people to prosecute this case. Along the way, the care and compassion and understanding that you showed to my family was exemplary. You made it very easy to have faith that you would get justice. In addition to you, we also want to thank your families. We know that there was a tremendous amount of sacrifices made by them to make sure that you could prosecute this to the fullest extent, and they had a lot of disruptions, and we appreciate it. There were many times that you had to prepare us for the very worst, leading up to February 6th when we expected to go to trial. We know you wanted to make sure we were prepared for the facts and details. The compassionate way in which you made sure we were prepared for things as horrific as the crime scene photos and the medical examiner's report speaks volumes to the incredible people you are at your core. I cannot fathom how you do the job that you do, and I'm very grateful that you represent the people in the 7th Judicial Circuit and on our case. Jenny, Mark, from the bottom of our heart, thank you. We are also well aware that the entire staff of the 7th Circuit State Attorney's Office helped either directly or indirectly on this case. Again, we're incredibly thankful. You were the first person that I spoke with. You've been a contact throughout, and you've really touched our heart. When we learned that you delayed your retirement from November when the trial date moved because you wanted to see this case through, it was a tremendous reflection of the entire office. Thank you so much for everything you did for us. And thank you for so much for everything that you've done for our justice system in our over 30 years. Thank you. It's impossible to talk about the 7th State Attorney's Office without also mentioning the St. John's Sheriff's Office. Again, much of this starts with the leadership at the very top. Years ago, when he was at the start of his law enforcement career, Sheriff Hardwick worked on the Haley Cummings case. Sheriff Hardwick applied everything he learned from that case to Tristyn's. Our county is extremely fortunate to have Sheriff Hardwick at the helm as we continue to grow in St. John's. He and Kendall are tireless in their efforts to engage with the community, and the work he does in the background to support everyone in the SJSO is unseen to the public, yet so appreciated and felt by the people in his department. Servant leadership and leading from the front at its best. Support from the St. John's Sheriff's Office truly began prior to us ever needing to call. He and his team have developed an incredible network within the community. The youth resource officers who mean so much to the students within the schools they are in. For us, this was Deputy Beasley. When the 911 call was made and the social media information started coming in, as Stacy mentioned, Deputy Beasley was integral in starting to help the investigative crew make some connections. With respect to that investigative crew, the thoroughness and attentiveness of their work clearly came through on Tuesday. This was both with the original patrol and especially with respect to Sergeant Kurt Hannon. I have thanked Sergeant Hannon so many times and will never be able to thank him enough. Everything he did to coordinate the work of a massive team and also to get the information that came from the community. While it was incredibly difficult news to hear, the fact that he showed up at our door at 3:40 in the morning to let us know they had her killer meant the world. We know there are so many contributed to the case throughout this time and even recently. Again, on behalf of my family, we appreciate each and every one of you and also give our heartfelt thanks to your respective families who support the incredible work you do. There is also a very special group of people I'd like to recognize in the bailiffs that work here at the courthouse and are in the courtyard with us today. These people are simply incredible at what they do. I was able to sit in a room with a known killer of one of my family members and have no concern for the safety of the rest of my family. In every interaction, they were also so understanding and supportive. Truly just an amazing group of people. There are a few people I would like to call out individually to thank. First off, I have to thank Bob Ellis. He's been a wonderful and true friend. He helped me in so many ways, and I'm extremely grateful for it. I also need to thank Matthew H. Henson. My family has known and worked with Matt for several years, and I was so thankful when he offered to help us coordinate all the media requests. He did so much more than that. There are so many times he has also been a venting and guidance outlet to our family, and particularly me. Matt, thank you. To the counseling community that has helped my family throughout this, I'm very appreciative, in particular Megan Logan and Kaylee Brennanman. This grieving process is hard, and without the additional focus that we have had, we would not stand as strong if it weren't for your respective help. Ashley Mitchell. We would be here for hours to talk about everything that you have done for the different members of our family as our victims advocate. Your network was invaluable in helping us to find counseling resources we needed. You were always extremely adept at following up on every initial rumor or concern that made its way to us in the early days, and very knowledgeable about explaining and setting our expectations for what is to come in the legal process. I've been truly amazed at how you have learned Bailey time. You seem to always communicate the right time for us to be here so that we could get through security and not delay the court proceedings. Ashley, in the wide expanse of people that our family knows, no one has ever done this as well as you have. From the bottom of our heart, thank you. In the days ahead, we're going to shift our focus and talk more about Tristyn, the plans that we have to celebrate her legacy. And we have a tremendous amount to share about this St. John's community, the people in it, the businesses that have supported us, the cheer community, and everything that they've done. As I look over, I also see all of our friends and family, and it's just a small sample of who could be here today. You've helped carry us throughout, and we appreciate and love each and every one of you. Today is about focusing on the people who helped deliver justice for our community, and I want to keep the focus on that. Before I close, though, I would like to say a few words into the universe. God, I know you're always listening when we talk to you, and would ask your assistance to get Tristyn's attention for a moment, as she probably started doing something more fun as I was going along. Tristyn, I wanted to let you know we are so extremely proud of the person that you were in your time here. We have seen that when you went out into the world, you gave it your very best. You should be proud of the friend that you were, the teammate you were, and what you left behind, and the people that knew you, that we trust, will go forward and continue to make the world a better place. With respect to what you mean to our family, it's in our hearts. There are no words. We love you. We will continue to hold you in our hearts, and we will always be the Bailey 7. At this time, it's my pleasure to hand it over to Sheriff Rob Hardwick.